Shalom, giving all honor, all praise, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. It's going to be a short video. This is from the Jerusalem Post. It says, Putin ratifies Russia-Iran agreement to strengthen military diplomatic ties. And, we all know what this means, especially if you focused on Bible prophecy. We know that the modern day Russians that represented as Gog in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, a nation that the Most High was going to basically gather up and, give them strength to be able to act as an opposing force to, the Western influence. And, they would have, key alliances, primarily from, certain Islamic countries, primarily Iran. All right. And, goes into that specifically. When you read down in the chapter, how there would be a guard unto Persia. And this right here solidifies that, because now they have to be very strategic, with this growing tension of conflict with the West. They want to put a stop to Western domination and, protect their regions and their cultures from Western intervention. So this is what they have to do. And the West, trying to get a one-up, over them through NATO, which is why, it's been a lot of pushback and conflict, led to, Russia annexing Crimea back in 2014. And then they've been the last 3 years or so, they've been working on Ukraine. The U.S. has, pulled back, of course, because of Trump. They pulled back on continuing to aid Ukraine. So slowly but surely, Russia is going to be inching in and taking more and more territory from Ukraine, because we know that Ukraine and some of those other countries around Ukraine, they used to be a part of the old Soviet Union. All right. So, that spirit is back on Russia, Vladimir Putin, and, as long as he's remaining strategic and, getting military cooperation and strengthening themselves, it seems like that's their objective. So I'm going to read some of this article, and then, we'll get a couple scriptures. Like I said, it's going to be a short video, but there's just, update, of course, and go into, prophecy concerning World War III, which is going to be the final world war on the earth before the end comes. All right. So this is what the Lord is doing. He's just mustering a host, getting ready for these wars. Revelation 11, verse 14. The second woe is past, and lo, the third woe cometh quickly. So we got to keep an eye out, on these events. So it says, Russian President Vladimir Putin has signed a law ratifying a strategic partnership treaty with Iran. Russian state news agency RIA reported on Monday. The agreement is expected to strengthen military and diplomatic ties between Moscow and Tehran. As part of the agreement, the two countries agreed not to provide military assistance to any third party with which the others is not in hot conflict, according to the Kyiv Independent. The agreement established a framework for the development of long-term cooperation between the two countries. So this solidifying their partnership. So this is how you understand why Russia will have to be a guard unto them. Right? It says Russian state media outlet TASS reported that the agreement covers all areas of strategic partnership, including defense, counterterrorism, energy, finance, transportation, industry, agriculture, culture, science, and technology. Okay, so that means if Israel continues to attack, or they try to use these proxies, to fight, with Iran, Russia would have provided them with the equipment needed, to protect themselves, because we know that Iran, they got their own forces, they have their own firepower, but they would have extra defense via or courtesy of Russia, showing you that Russia is playing that sentinel, that guard, right? It says Russia-Iran relations. The Speaker of Russia's state legislative body, I don't know how to pronounce that, as clearly a Russian name. It says noted that the agreement will coordinate Tehran and Moscow's international actions. TASS reported. Putin inked the 20-year strategic partnership pact with his Iranian counterpart Masoud Pezeshkian in January. Russian state media noted that Putin and Pezeshkian signed the deal after the perceived international political pressure. All right. Since the start of the Ukraine-Russia war in 2022, Iran has given the Russian military thousands of Shahed drones alongside short-range ballistic missiles, the Kyiv Independent reported. Because of the Islamic Republic's assistance, Russia has been able to produce its own variants of Iranian drones, such as the Geran 2. So they're looking out for each other. Okay. And let me get this in Habakkuk, because this is, proven, once again, like always, that, this book of prophecy is a living book, and the scriptures say his word does not go out void. It should accomplish that which he pleased. It does not go out void. All right. It says Habakkuk 2 and 3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. All right, and what are we seeing? We're seeing Ezekiel 38 starting to fulfill itself. Ezekiel 38:1, it says, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. Meaning the Lord's going to put the spirit on them and basically control them, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army. I will basically, the Lord, built them up, built their army up, after the fall of the whole United, the United, I know you got the Socialist Republic. All right. So, I'm drawing blank, try to break down the acronym for the USSR, but that's what they were called. All right. But they were the Soviet Socialists. Yeah. The United Soviet Socialist Republic. That's what it meant. All right. And, they were once, a superpower. They had those old Eastern Bloc countries from Eastern Europe. And they were all together. And then you had the Warsaw Pact, and then they started to dismember itself, during the Cold Wars. Okay, but the Lord is putting that spirit back into them, and that's why they're taking these lands piece by piece, with strategy and with force. All right, it says, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And all our allies, they all are equipped as well. They've been in development, for military technology, defense, air defenses, etc. It says Persia, which is modern day Iran. So you see they're first named in this prophecy because they have deep ties together. Okay, and it's spiritual, of course, because in the ancient world, you had the Medes rise up with the Persians, and back then the Medes, they were the sons of Japhet at the time. When they rose up, they had a little part in that empire before they disbanded, and you had, it just became the Roman. I mean, said the Roman, the Persian Empire, or the Achaemenid Empire. Okay. It says Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer, and that represents Turkey, and all his bands, the house of Tergama of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself. What are they being prepared for? Let's go to Joel real quick. Joel 3 and 9. And it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pointy hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. All right. So that even includes Libya and Ethiopia. They're not really known for high military might, but with their alliance to Russia, Russia would definitely make sure that they provide, that type of force, for their defense. So they're going to all be together. It's going to, strengthen being basically having relations with Russia. It strengthens your protection, so to speak, your defense. All right. In case you got a, war with the West. So it says, be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Look up that word guard. And the word is Mashara. And it says a guard, the man, the post, or the prison, a deposit, figuratively, also as observed, a usage abstractly, or an example concretely, diligence, guard, office, prison, ward, watch. Place of confinement, prison, guard, jail, guard post, watch, observance. The act of guarding. So when you guarding something, you're watching over it, to keep it protected. Watch over in order to protect or control. Protect against damage or harm. Okay. A person who keeps watch, especially a soldier or other person formerly assigned to protect a person or to control access to a place. And that's what Russia acts as for those countries, primarily Iran. Okay. A protector, defender, security guard. And since, they can't physically come down to Iran and, guard their airspace, Just send them the equipment that they need for that. You know, or if it gets too thick, we'll send some soldiers down. You know, that's how they deal with each other. You need some assistance. You know, Iran, they send some, drones over there. You know, y'all need some defense against these Israeli attacks. All right, we'll send y'all some defense, air defense. And that's how it works. But of course, it's going to escalate even further. It's going to get worse. And, it's going to be boots on ground. And, the war of Armageddon is going to take place. But we know that that's going to be later down the line because we're still waiting on this devil to go ahead and collapse his system so that we can, expect for the MOTB rollout. Okay. So that's pretty much the next thing. So, this is just wars and rumors of wars. And, hey, prophecy being fulfilled. So, we must stay on our watch, as the scriptures say, and, watch as well as pray. And, hopefully y'all were edified. I'm going to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai. And to the next one, Shalom.